Welcome. As a begin.
Sorry about that. Hello everyone. I'm just gonna put out a community post to let people know that I'm live streaming. Right. The audio is oversaturated, I think. And hello. Hi, Centro. Let me try and fix this. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing. Can you hear me? Says there's nothing coming in the audio capture. Audio input capture. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. That looks better. Why is it like that? Okay, yeah, no, I understand. So is the audio too loud? I'm just gonna, it looks like it's good here, so I'm just gonna leave it for now. Alright, I'm gonna free up Blender, get to work. Alright, so this is the character that I'm working on, and I'm trying to make a 360 rig. You can see that if we just go to the previous frame. So that's all I have right now. But today we're going to do the side view, and hopefully a bit more than that as well. Okay. Sounds like it's raining. Maybe I've put the gain up too high. Does that sound better? Sorry, okay, hang on. I'll see what I can do. That is the audio okay. So hello Santo, hello Kelly, hello the doctor. Nice to have you all here. Right. Right. There we go. Hey Google, stop. My mic is too loud. Alright, let me have a look. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Noise gate? Testing, 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 testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Alright, let me know if that helped at all. Alright. In the meantime, I'll just keep doing this. The difference is I need to put that behind. I need to, I should have started with the body. It's annoying. I do kind of want to figure out what the audio problem is, just to tell if it's worth fixing. Oh, that is bad. Yeah. Oh, that is bad. Oh. Alright, is that better?
Alright, testing, 1, 2, 3. Kelly Johnson, sketchies. Are Kiwis the native people in New Zealand? I guess anyone who lives in New Zealand is a Kiwi, but technically, you know, the Maori people would be regarded as the native people. Oh no, it's still hard to hear me. Hang on. Testing. Oh no, it's okay. Alright, let me know if there are any more audio issues. Alright, I'm gonna get to work. Sorry about all the technical issues, but it should be good now. Okay, there we go. Time to start redrawing it. Just gonna adjust the fall off for the pressure sensitivity. Oh, thanks, John. I appreciate it. It's nice to see everyone here. Can you use this character in a possible motion comic series? Probably not this character, but was it you who yesterday suggested making a tutorial series on making a motion comic? Because I think that is a really good idea, but I'll probably use a different character because I don't know. I like to make new projects. You're putting so much time into the stylized character. Yeah. Although I am putting a lot of time into it, but actually I've just recently been changing the way that I rig my characters. And so actually it's a lot faster now. At least. Or at least a lot more bang for your buck. Or, you know, you get a lot more versatility for the time you spend on it. So hopefully I'm going to be making some videos about it soon. Have you ever done any Game of Thrones themed Blender stuff? No. I haven't watched the show. Or read the books, I should say. Yeah, change your ways. That's worth a short video for sure. Yeah, no, I'm hopefully this character will be the topic of a tutorial. And then yeah, I'll go into depth in how I've developed the way I do things. Alright, I think that's that. I can go to the color layer, start filling these in. Might use the sculpt tool to bring this part down a little bit. Maybe soften that. Alright. Yeah, I wouldn't say anything in my older tutorials is outdated per se. Like everything in my older videos are definitely still, like they'll still work. I've just kind of slowly changed the way to do things, that I do things. But yeah, no, definitely everything that I've said in old videos still is functional, except for the rhubarb lip syncing. I did a head turn tutorial series a while ago, and I showed how to use rhubarb, an add-on for Blender, on how to lip sync the character. But I think that no longer works because of the way that Blender's updated the pose library. Yeah. Which drawing tablet are you using? I'm using the Huion tablet that was sent to me at the end of 2023. I said that I wasn't going to use it very often, but then I moved up to Auckland and it was really nice to have a really portable tablet. Do you ever get approached by studios saying they're thinking about switching from Toon Boom to Blender? No, not yet. I think Blender, especially for 2D cutout animation, Blender's still very, very niche. So I'm hoping, I think what my dream would be is to make some really cool projects in Blender, and then that causes Blender Studio to focus a little bit more effort on the 2D rigging tools, and then maybe from there it can become more industry standard. But yeah, no, I haven't heard anyone try and use Blender. At least no one's contacted me directly. I have seen some productions using Blender for frame-by-frame animation. Like there's a production in Wellington right now where they're making a show called Two Bald Clowns, and that's using Blender Grease Pencil for frame-by-frame animation, and it looks really cool. does Rhubarb even work anymore? Not the Blender add-on. I think it's Rhubarb itself is a tool that is software agnostic, so you can use it in different tools. But just because Blender updated the way that they use pose libraries, the add-on no longer works, and it hasn't been updated yet. Alright, I think, what should I redraw next? I think, actually, I need to shift this leg in front. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to do this leg next. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to select the background. There we go. Oh no, it still didn't select. There we go. I see you make each part a different grease pencil object, so you no longer cast the shadow. I'm not sure I know what you mean by that. I have decided to separate every body element into its own grease pencil object. Recently, I've been doing, like in some of my more recent projects, I've been using just separating it onto different layers with one grease pencil object. But actually, it makes it really difficult to like animate the layer order. Whereas when they're separate objects, you can just move them in 3D space. here and do that. Just the shoe now, so I should make it a little bit behind the rest of the leg. There we go. I really love the improvements that they've made to the little snipping tool for Grease Pencil in Blender 4.3. Saves so much time. Could you cast shadow with different objects through new lights or just faking it in composition, right? Yeah, I don't think Blender Grease Pencil supports shadows yet. There was one time a while ago when I was making a music video using Grease Pencil that I decided I wanted shadows. So what I did was I rendered out just the character and then I re-imported it into Blender as an image sequence, and then that would cast the shadows, and then I would make it so that you couldn't actually see the image plane, but you could see its shadow that was cast, and so it looked like Grease Pencil was casting shadows, but it was all just smoke and mirrors. I don't think that back foot needs to be redrawn. I think that's fine. Though maybe it all should move a little bit backwards, like this. That looks better. Yeah, I'm gonna move the image plane to match that. Although you did mention new lights, so maybe I'm just not aware of a Blender update that allows you to cast shadows with Grease Pencil. That would be really cool. What do you know about lip sync? I know a bit. I always used to use a program called Papagayo to do like automatic lip syncing. And then I started using Rhubarb. But actually, ever since I got my first job last year, I really enjoyed the process of lip syncing manually. I think it looks better, and I don't know, it's not as time consuming as you might think, and I don't know, it's just a lot of fun. How am I going to approach this? I'm going to turn off onion skin because that's confusing me. You know, I think that's it, but maybe I should do something like that, and that. And that, there we go. Actually, not that part. That should be on the lower layer. And then when I fill it in, then I can remove that line, and I just fill that in. Hi Sketchy, I absolutely adore your work. Your 2D rigging tutorials in Blender are so inspirational. Thanks for helping make 2D Blender more accessible. Keep up the amazing work. Oh, thank you Minty Marsh, I really appreciate it. You're very kind. Alright. And that's probably going to need to go behind. How am I going to do that? I'll probably just move the bone for the head in front. There we go. Perfect. Alright. I think the arms are pretty close to what they need to look like, but not perfect, so I'll still redraw them. Alright, here we go. Hopefully that looks okay. Yeah, that looks good. I'm just going to use the snipping tool. Oh wait. Got confused by the onion skin. feel like those are too thin. And that was all on the wrong layer. That's okay. Just move it up. Now I'm just gonna bridge that gap and then fill it in. And I can delete that. Can we get a tutorial on lip syncing grease pencil? I think I could do that. I could probably put it into a YouTube short rather than a full tutorial. There's not a whole lot to it. But yeah, that'd be good. Alright. I need to fill in. Again, I put everything on the wrong layer. Have to move it up. I forgot I was supposed to be recording this as well. I wonder if it'll be okay. Alright, hopefully that'll be alright. Any thoughts about Toon Boom tutorials? I was trying to find walk cycles in Toon Boom and there's only like 3 of them. Also, it feels like IK isn't really used in Toon Boom. Do you use IK at your job? Actually, no. I was really surprised when I got there and none of the rigs had IK on them. And I actually asked one of the riggers about that, and it's not that it's impossible to do in Toon Boom, it's that they think it's overrated, and apparently it's not uncommon in Toon Boom to just not use IK. So in my last project, where if you look at the end of my last video, you'll see that I made a little fan art of the show that I worked on, and I think I made what was probably my most dynamic animation yet. And yeah, I didn't use IK. In fact, on this character, I'm not using IK. You can see if I go here, I just have the legs, just a regular FK chain that that goes from the bottom up. And the reason for that is actually, I feel like in 2D animation, it's not actually that difficult to line feet up from frame to frame, and it actually means you're going to avoid issues like knees that pop, and other kind of similar things. So yeah, I think IK is actually a little bit overrated, at least for 2D animation. It's definitely necessary for 3D animation. Do you pay the monthly fee for Toon Boom? No, I don't. Now that I'm unemployed, I just don't use Toon Boom. I love Toon Boom. I think it was a great tool, but I'm not going to pay for that. I'm also not super keen on pirating it. Oh, is that going to be okay? I think that is okay. Alright, I'm going to leave that. Alright, I'm going to redraw the head now. Oh, and to answer your question about Toon Boom tutorials, yeah, I didn't find a lot of Toon Boom tutorials. There are some good ones like Onion Skin, and then there's another person who does some pretty good compositing tutorials, which I forget the name of. But yeah, there's not a lot out there, and I think it is because it's such an expensive software. Like when I got my job, they actually had like specialized training directly from Toon Boom that I think they had to probably pay quite a lot for. Yeah, I think definitely. I think that's probably one of the big advantages of open source software like Blender, is that it's just so accessible. Like, not just because it's free, but because it's free, people make a huge amount of tutorials and just freely available resources for it. Whereas, yeah, definitely Toon Boom's probably lacking in that area. You're between gigs at the moment, Sketchy? Yeah, I am. It's it's a little depressing, the job search right now. But I've got some responses that are somewhat positive, so I'm trying to keep my I'm trying to keep my head held high and just plod along. So if you know anyone that's hiring, oh, if you're live, just wanted to say thank you for all your vids. Solid content. Oh, thank you, Junhas. I really appreciate it. This is kind of a difficult view to draw. I might turn off the onion skin. Maybe I should just have it really low opacity. There we go. And I might increase the opacity of the reference image. I think I will turn off the onion skin. All right. Turn on super chat so we can support your operations. I appreciate it. I think I did. I don't think when I started the stream in OBS, I don't think I had the option to turn on monetization, but I think I did when you first asked. I went in and I turned it on. So hopefully it's enabled. Doesn't matter though. It's fine. Can you make a tutorial on how to rig the whole body turn in Grease Pencil? That's what I'm working on right now, actually. This character, hopefully not too long of a time, you'll be able to watch a full tutorial on how to rig this character turning around. Have I heard of Unicorn Wars? It's a movie that was made in Grease Pencil. No, I haven't. That sounds really cool though. I know there was another movie that was made using Grease Pencil. I can't remember what it was, but it was about someone, and there was like a hand that was a severed hand that was walking around on its fingers or something. It got like nominated for some award or something. But yeah, I should look up, what was it again? It was Unicorn Wars. Okay. Also, if you're looking for a gig, Irish studios are often looking for Harmony animators. Boulder Media, Lighthouse, Studio Mela, Treehouse Republic, etc. Okay, good to know. I already applied to one studio in Ireland. I applied to Cartoon Saloon. I really didn't stand a chance of getting that job, but it was nice to apply. Something of my dream studio. But yeah, I saw some job openings for Boulder Media, but then when I went to their website, it wasn't there anymore. It was like an outdated job advert. But yeah, I should still apply. I should still send my show reel and a cover letter. Thank you, Kelly, for the compliment about the outlines. The next door to mine, Cartoon Saloon, is very much made of artists with scarves. That's funny. Yeah, it's a stereotype. Are you saying they're like pretentious artists, or I don't know. They actually value creatives, which is unusual these days. Yeah. I did hear a story recently. I won't go into detail, but a studio apparently fired someone for being too creative, which seems dodgy to me. I'm located in New Zealand, which is a beautiful country, but there's not a lot of opportunities for animation. So I've been applying to a lot of Australian studios and yeah, and the like. Yeah, it's all about numbers for most studios. Cartoon Saloon can afford to be creative, though. Yeah, with the Oscar nominations. Yeah. Yeah. One of the reasons that Cartoon Saloon is one of my dream studios is because of their film, The Breadwinner, which was about Afghanistan, and I grew up in Afghanistan, so it has a special place in my heart. Have you ever tried Titmouse in LA? I think I've heard of it, but I haven't sent an application yet. I think part of me is kind of scared to apply for jobs in the US, but I might just be biased against the US. Also, I heard that a lot of US studios just can't afford to like hire animators because the cost of living is so high, so they often outsource to Canada or Australia. It was also a big one. So there's like a lot of storyboard artists in the US and people higher up in the production, but fewer animators. Can't get this line right. I can just sculpt it into place. That should be good. You should try. They do a lot of remote work. Oh, okay. Maybe I should. Yeah. I'll look into that. They can. Yeah. So they can outsource to NZ. Hint, hint. Yeah. Exactly. It does look like Nikola Tesla. You're right. That was unintentional, but no, you're right. I think he does. He looks a bit like Nikola Tesla. Oh, did I not have multiple layers on this? That's awful. Okay, I need to fix this. So I need a second layer that's underneath, and I need to move this to that layer. There we go. And on this frame too. And what's that? I should move it there as well. Oh, it's all kind of off, isn't it? Oh wait, it's because, let me undo that. Insert blank keyframe on active layer. can't fill that in unless I do this first. There we go. Didn't work. Oh, it did work, didn't it? Okay. There we go. Just need to move the ear in front a bit. I probably should have... That's annoying. This should be further back so that it can pivot properly. And then I can move that forward. Right. Alright. As a person who works in cartoons, I watch your contents for tips a fair amount. You've got some skills, my man. Thank you, KRB. I appreciate it. Or Kirby, I should say, probably. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, that means a lot to me. I appreciate it. Right, I need to, in order to get this eyebrow right and the mustache right, I need to turn off the skin color. There we go. I should also probably hide that and that one. I'll have to unhide them later, but that's alright. Maybe this is something I just do with the bone. I think it does need a duplicated frame rather than a totally new drawing. And I can just sculpt it into place. Alright, I just need to put skin and I'm just going to link that up first and then I can fill it. Didn't work. Strange. Thank you, Zara. I appreciate it. I just set up my camera, and then there was annoyingly the tablet that I'm using isn't a 16:9 ratio, and so I just put the little character off to the side. What happens if I just draw it in place? It seems to work. Alright. I'll just draw it. That's quite the bulbous nose. I think I just need to bring the line weight down a little bit. And I need to get that mustache back as well. Yeah, I think this view's taken a lot less time than the 3/4 view did yesterday. So it's done well. Oh, I don't know if that should have scaled down like that. Hang on. I guess it should have. Oh, I might just cheat that a little bit smaller on that frame. Maybe that a little bit bigger. Yeah, that looks better. Alright, and now I just need to redraw this. Oh, last night one of my students was using Toon Boom and their bones just disappeared. Did you ever encounter that? I don't think we used bones. I know that there's a tool for bones, but on Bad Jelly we never actually used them. All the rigs were made with just pegs and deformers. So yeah, no, I definitely never encountered that. Maybe they just deselected the bone tool, because I think I just don't know enough about the bone system in Toon Boom. Just gonna move that out of the way and then move it back in the way. There we go. Now that mustache needs to be fixed. You know, I think because of the way that it in the drawing it kind of wraps around the face like that. I just go to the previous frame and scroll over. See how it kind of wraps around like that. I think I'm gonna have to. Oh no. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to add another object for the mustache. But for this side, I should be able to just duplicate it. Then I'm going to delete the color. And then I can just edit this to my heart's content. It's annoying, the eraser tool, I think just kind of reduces the opacity of the stroke down to 0, rather than actually deleting the vertices, which is kind of annoying. It's not too bad though. You can always just delete it in edit mode. Oh. I wonder if this is too big of a change for sculpt mode to handle. No, it's fine. just gonna connect that up, fill it in, and delete that. Yeah, it definitely needs a second part though. So I think I'm gonna duplicate this and delete all the vertices, and then on this frame delete all the vertices, and on this frame delete all the vertices. But then I need to turn on origins. Yeah, oh, that's all origins. I just want origins. Oh no, it is on. And I'm just going to shift it back behind the face. And then I'm going to delete those keyframes. Right. So hopefully this will look good. Oh, wrong material. Now that means that with this one I need to shift that forward. Right, there we go. That looks pretty good, I think. Do you know what you might use this character for? Are you just practicing rigging? So the reason I made this character is for a tutorial. I'm going to make a tutorial on how to rig characters. But I'm not just going to rig it and be done with it, because how sad is that to just, you know, make a character able to move and then not move it. So I'm thinking I'm going to animate some sort of dance, because I want to make an animation that'll show off his ability to spin around, and I feel like a dance is the best way to do that. So if you got any suggestions, I'm all ears. What do the hands look like on this one? Oh, yeah, I think I will redraw that hand. I might need to adjust the position once I finish drawing it, but that'll be fine. Let me turn off that onion skin. Whoa. What's your thoughts on Clay Pencil by Daniel Martinez Lara? I think it's awesome. I haven't tried it out yet, but it looks so incredible. I think it's gonna really change the way that independent artists make like their short films and such, because it's like suddenly you can make 3D animations with the lighting of 3D animations almost as easily as you can make 2D animation. I think that's gonna be amazing. I've already thought about, I've already had some thoughts about, oh, I wonder how you could rig this, you know? But even without rigging, I think it's such a cool tool. Please make some tutorials on it also. Alright, I'll definitely play around with it at some point, and if I can think of something, you know, something unique to say about it, I'll make a video about it. Oh, that actually worked out better than I thought it would. I think I do want to just shift it down a little bit. There we go. Alright, I think we did it. I think that's the side view. Let me just check. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. Alright, that's awesome. Now time to do, just make sure everything's got a keyframe. Go to the next frame. And let's keep going. Should I flip it or just rotate it? I'll flip it. Oh, actually that's not very helpful. Yeah, I'll just rotate it. I'm just gonna copy paste that and move that over. Nice background on PC, thanks. Tons tunes. I think Moho rigging is more powerful than any other program. I wonder why you stopped using it. There are a few reasons I stopped using it. In some ways I didn't stop using it because, for example, I recently did some freelance work and I used Moho. And there's also been talks at the studio that I was just recently working at to use Moho on an upcoming project. It's a great tool. I love Moho. I don't think I'm ever not going to love Moho. It's just, but there are lots of reasons why I kind of switched to Blender. Probably the main one is I love that Blender's open source. I think it's great. I think I'd probably disagree with you in saying that Moho's rigging is like inherently more powerful. I think it's more intuitive. But powerful, I guess in version 14 with like you got Vitruvian bones, you got liquid shapes. There's some good rigging tools in there. I think it's a great tool, but I just think for me I want to use open source as much as possible. Where can I get a reply from you other than YouTube? Right now, there's not a lot of places. Like I know some people have asked if I have a Discord server, but I think right now that's a little too much of a time investment for me. But if you want, you can email me at joel@sketchysquirrel.com. Yeah, especially if you have like a problem with Blender that you need help with, I'm happy to try and respond. Alright, there we go. It's always funny when I go back into solid view and everything looks so messed up. But yeah, no, it all comes together when I start redrawing the character. Groovy. Do you have any 2D rigs that I can download from your YouTube channel? I think so. I think if there's one video where I rigged a tiger character, where I drew it in Critter and then I imported the images into Blender and I rigged it. And I think if you go to that video, there's a link in the description on where you can download it. I also think I recently made a video on where I made a character with a who lifts up like this box, and I believe the link for that download is also in the description. Let me find that for you. Is it this? Not in that video, but maybe in this one. Oh, actually, no, it's not there. But I do know the video with the tiger. Hang on. Yeah, it's called Blender 2D Cutout Animation. I think that has the link in description. Yeah, I'll just give you the link for that. So if I go, at Bitter Biscuits. That link has, so that video there's a character rig in the description. Got to go. Love the streams though, Sketchy. Thank you, Zara. I appreciate it. Hello, Bereference and Squirrel Squad Cam. I like your name. Your username. Do you know some add-on which can make Blender 2D animation and as easy in Moho and other softwares? No. I think that's the thing. Every software has its strengths and its weaknesses, and I think no add-on is ever gonna make one software turn into another software. But I did make an add-on to help with emulate the SmartBone process in Moho. So in some of my recent videos are talking about that, on how to use the SmartBone add-on, which is open source, and so that's free and open source, so that's good. Yeah. Now I need to move that over there-ish, and that actually probably similar position, but it needs to be behind. Alright, I'm almost there. Ready to redraw this view. I'm also learning Blender and excited to test your add-on when I'm intermediate. Awesome. Let me know if you how it goes. If you have any problems, feel free to reach out. Always happy to help. My setup is Color Tools. That's a really good add-on. I should have mentioned that. Smartbones. Thanks. I appreciate it. An Action Commander. I don't think I've heard of that one. That sounds interesting. Yeah, no worries for. Yeah, I'm glad that I could help your workflow. Alright, I'm gonna start with the body. That should look like that. Are you self-taught Blender artist? In some ways, yes. Everything I know about Blender is self-taught, though I have studied animation at university. Though I did a lot of animation before that. That was all self-taught. I mean, I say self-taught, but like, that just means YouTube, right? Oh. good. Do you know some good online course for Blender? If you look up P2 Design, Purk Paco, he makes some really good YouTube tutorials, but he's also made some awesome rigging and modeling and animation courses, which, yeah, I highly recommend. They're basically the only paid courses that I've ever bought, and they're well worth the money. It's not for 2D animation in Blender, but a lot of the 3D stuff that he goes into is like very applicable. You know, there's a lot of transferable skills. Right. That looks good. Alright, I'm gonna do this leg next. Oh, I just discovered a new shortcut to change materials quickly. And another one for changing layers quickly. This is life-changing. If you press U, you can switch between materials. If you press Y, you can switch between layers. Oh, that's amazing. Alright, that should be good. I guess I'm going to use my newfound shortcuts. Oh, I love those. I wonder if there's any more. Like T, R. Oh, I just hid the object I was using. Okay. Hi, your fan here. A question. So to create a controller that makes the character rotate 360 degrees, I have to create an action for the bones and adjust a time offset with each drawing. That's not the way I'm doing it. I think that sounds really complicated. If I show you a demo of this kind of this thing that I'm using, this technique that I'm using now. So this is a little test character I made, and he just does a little turnaround, right? And the way I did that was right at the end, I have these keyframes. Now it's in the same action, and I haven't separated the action. I've just got these 3 keyframes, and then synced up with the keyframes for the bones are the keyframes for the grease pencil objects, right? And then when I want to add a new pose in the animation, that like, for example, I want it to suddenly be the side view, I can just select the character, select the side view, duplicate it, and set it to the frame I want. And then, yeah, he's suddenly side view now. And so that's, annoyingly, it's incompatible with actions, and it's incompatible with time offset modifiers, because the time offset modifier requires that there's some other value driving what frame is being displayed, whereas this means you have to animate, you have to actually create basically a new drawing, even if it's just a duplicate of another drawing, at the exact frame that you want to change it at. And it's unfortunately, right now, it's incompatible with actions because I don't believe grease pencil keyframes are stored in actions. They just exist on like the main timeline, you know. I think that they might be changing that, because I know they're revamping how actions work, so they might be changing it so that grease pencil keyframes will be stored within an action, which would be super helpful, because then you could create basically what I'm doing here, where I've got all these keyframes that I want to be able to copy into an animation. It would be cool if I could just reference this in like a separate action and just put them in to another timeline, you know, and as I want them, rather than having them like all off at the end of the timeline, ready to copy in. I hope that makes sense. Well, thanks for finding those new hotkeys for me. Right, those are really cool. Then connect with the drive. So you can use your smartphone's add-on with this method. Lattices, I don't know. I don't think so, because right now grease pencil keyframes aren't stored in the same actions as the armature. I don't know if I don't think that actually that my smartphones will be able to control this. I think you'll be able to use a smartphone like for a subtle head turn, like I've shown in previous tutorials, on top of this, but I don't know if you'll be able to use a smartphone controller to control this, at least not yet. And this works with hotkey Shift E. What's Shift E? It's not doing anything for me, Frolic. But yeah. Is Clay Pencil coming officially to Blender? I think it's just an add-on, so I think you can use it now, but or it might not even be an add-on. It might be just a geometry node setup. You know how they've got those huge trees of geometry nodes that can create some pretty cool stuff. What happens to the Grease Pencil Tool 4.3 version? Why are they missing? Grease Pencil tools. Oh, is that the add-on Grease Pencil tools? Yeah, I think it's because in version 4.3 the Blender team totally revamped the whole Grease Pencil tool. So the layer system is different, the way it draws is different, the tools are different. It's linked in with the geometry nodes so that you can do some cool stuff with that. But as a result, some of the add-ons that support Grease Pencil no longer do. Hopefully, as time goes on, they'll receive updates so that they can support the new Grease Pencil. But for now, yeah, it seems a bit. A few things seem to be a bit broken. Right, I was selecting these. Shifty works with a bone in viewport. It's like an in-between tool. Oh, yes. No, I use that all the time. That's such a useful tool. I think especially for 2D animation, it it allows you to animate on twos really easily, and like yeah, just getting your easing just perfect. Is this method a little experimental for you? Yes, it is. This is I've done a couple of like small test character projects, and they seem to work well. But I think it's going to be good. But this is still very experimental for sure. Hey, no worries, for like, it's all good. Animate, wait, at olives animation, it's the get extension tab. Oh, okay. Alright. Is there a shortcut for the fill tool? No, it's not. It's annoying. Oh, actually, I can just click that. Why is that not working? Oh, it is working. Why isn't it working properly? Oh, it's because I'm using ink. Alright, there we go. There we go. Oh. Why didn't that work properly? Alright, this is kind of tricky because I need to figure out how to draw this foot even though it's not super visible. Do I have a portfolio site? Not right now. I'm thinking of making one, especially as I'm looking for a new job. But yeah, no, I don't really have anything other than my YouTube channel, which isn't really a portfolio. shoes looking a bit. Don't know how that's good. How good that is. Oh, it's fine. I know that this leg doesn't exactly match up with the drawing, but actually I think it looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna leave it. I won't leave that part though. I need to move this down slightly. There. Oh, actually no, I shouldn't. I should leave that exactly where it is. It's fine. I saw a comparison video today. They said that After Effects is better than Moho. Oh, I haven't used a lot of After Effects for animation, but I gotta disagree with that. I think After Effects is a good animation tool. It's just not made for animation. Like, there's a lot of add-ons for After Effects that can help you with animation, but really it's a compositor. I disagree with the conclusion of that video. Yeah, I should make a portfolio page. I do have like a show reel that I send to people. It's currently behind a password because a lot of the stuff is for a show that isn't released everywhere yet. Your other rigs have been a lot more like Blender 3D rigs with control mechanism and deformation bones. This seems to be a lot more basic. Is animating harder? I think strangely, because I've simplified the rigging process, what's actually happened is it's more flexible because I'm like pairing a simple rig with redrawing the elements whenever I need to. And so in some ways animation's a little harder because it's actually a little bit more time consuming this way, but I think it's only more time consuming because you're able to do more, you know? So in that sense, actually, I'm spending less time on the rig to spend a little bit more time on animation, but I can do, like, I feel like nothing's off the table in the, like, planning stage. Like, with some of my more restrictive rigs, I've felt kind of like, okay, there's only a certain types of movements I can do with this rig. But with this kind of more basic style, I feel like, oh yeah, I can do absolutely anything, and it's not going to be a problem. I recently got Moho 12.5. That's awesome. Moho's a great software. Yeah, I hope you have a lot of fun with it. That's good. Which software do you use to make your thumbnails? I use Critter. Just sometimes I use a little bit of Blender, but mostly just Critter. It's also open source, which is good. I guess your animation then drives the rigging. Yeah, I would say so. I think that's probably the best way to look at it. I think probably what was holding me back in the past was that I was making character rigs for its own sake, which made some really cool like tech demos in a way, but they weren't necessarily super usable for animation. But I think now I've got a more of an attitude of, no, I'm not making a rig, I'm making an animation for which I need a rig. Critter's a great software. Love Critter. Yep, I couldn't agree more. All right, now I'm gonna redraw this arm, I should say. Have you used OpenTunes? I have used OpenTunes. I think it's a great tool, but I never really got my head around it. I think the rigging stuff really confuses me. And there was a short period of time early on when I was using Toon Boom where I thought, oh, actually a lot of this could be done in OpenTunes, but then I couldn't figure it out. And I've found it a lot easier to apply what I've learned in Toon Boom to Blender rather than OpenTunes. But I've seen some people make some really cool stuff with it, so it's still a great software. I just haven't been able to quite figure it out. How long would it normally take for you to rig a character like this, please? So I kind of mentioned earlier that this is a very new way of rigging for me, so I'm actually not sure. Like in one sense, I think it's a lot simpler, so I'm actually saving a lot of time. But then in another sense, because I'm making it more simple, I'm able to do like this 360 turnaround. And so yeah, that's adding a lot of time to it. So actually, I don't know yet. I'll let you know when I finish this character, because this is kind of the first character I've made in this technique. What are your upcoming projects? Just this tutorial, this character that I'm working on, really. I'd love to make some sort of. I think after this tutorial, I would love to make some sort of almost a web series, or maybe like a pilot episode of like a show, something like that, something more creative, but using Blender, of course. Yeah, it would be 2D. I love 3D animation, but I think definitely 2D. How you organize your YouTube life? I don't organize my YouTube life. I'm incredibly disorganized with my YouTube life. It's a real problem. Like for example, last year, right on New Year's Eve, I published a video that I wanted to publish in March, and that was the only video I published that year. So that was bad. I'm hoping to get a bit better this year. Quick question, how do you go about connecting the legs and waist to the character, as I struggle to have the line art align the way I would like when the character is in movement? So that's another thing that I kind of like about this new, more flexible rigging setup that I've got is on one hand, I'm making new drawings with every grease pencil object as the character's turns, but it also allows me to edit the drawings as I animate it. So for example, if I'm if I'm animating the character taking a step and the line art doesn't quite join up with the hips properly, I can just go into that frame and just use proportional editing to drag it into place, and Blender will automatically create, as far as it's concerned, a new drawing. But from the user's point of view, it's just like I'm just animating where the points are, and it's a great system. If you've used Toon Boom, it would be basically like how you use the pegs to rotate things into place, and then you use deformers to get them looking just perfect. Yeah. Hello, Daniel Animations. Nice to see you here. Wow, today's stream is already, at least by numbers, more successful than yesterday's stream. Got 27 people watching. 20, yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. I might need to hide this object. Oh, thank you so much. You're so helpful. No worries. I'm glad I could be of help. How many years have you done animation? Technically, only 1 year of like professional animation, but overall, I started when I was 12, so 8 years, almost 9 years. So does drawn layers work like vectors in Grease Pencil? Sort of. So usually vectors have like a curve between them, a Bezier curve. But in Blender, it's just like lots of little points with a straight line between them. But it is like a vector in the sense that you can move points around rather than like pixels or anything like that. Have you seen Blown Apart? Oh yes, Napoleon Blown Apart. Absolutely. Yeah. I think Tiny Nick is it who makes that? Yeah, he does a great job. Um, do you know how they made their character rig turn around 360 degrees? Is it the same way you do it, or is there a different method? I think he's using a different method. I think he created his own add-on, which I think he released open source. So you can go test it out if you want. Um, I never really got the hang of it again, but yeah, I think it's the tool that he uses for rigging his characters is kind of limited to using just like humanoid characters. But I think it's a great tool. I think he's done a great job making that. Yeah, good on him. Yeah, I don't understand the add-on either, but I know that Nick is able to achieve great things with it, so that's awesome. Um, yeah, maybe he'll make a tutorial on it someday, and I'll realize, oh, what was I doing here? It's wasting all my time. I could have been using his add-on. Is that possible to make Ghibli environment with grease pencil? I mean, that's like a visual style, so like, yes, always. There'll always be challenges though with using whatever tool to make a specific style. I think I would probably use a mixture of grease pencil, image textures, and like 3D objects with a stylized shader if I wanted to make a Ghibli style background in Blender. I've been trying to get this 360 rotation working. Mostly when I try to use it with the non-linear animation tool. Oh yeah, I've used the NLA editor a little bit. It's really confusing though, isn't it? I know that the Blender team is trying to replace it with just like regular actions. They're trying to improve actions so that we no longer need the NLA editor. So do you mean that you've got like a 3D model that you're rotating by 360 degrees? My goodness, is it already 8:30? How time flies when you're having fun. I'm going to try and finish up this view of the character, and I'm probably going to have to leave in about half an hour. Oh, I think I understand what you mean. I think to some extent you could. Hmm. Yeah. I wonder if. I wonder if you. Hmm. It's tricky. I wonder if you could use an action, an action constraint, like a regular smart bone type thing, to just control the bones as it turns, and then to copy in the grease pencil frames where they're needed. And then that way you could, yeah, you could add the. Actually, no. I think what I would do is I'd have like the base action with just him spinning, um, with the grease pencil lined up with that, and then I'd have another action where he's walking. Now the issue with that is you might be able to get away with the 3/4 view walking looking good, and then the side view it could carry over, and then maybe the back 3/4 as well. The issue is it would look totally different with the front view and the back view. Um, yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting to do. Maybe I should do like a 360 turntable walk cycle with this character. I think I might steer clear of the NLA editor if I did that though. Alright, I've done the back arm, the front arm, the legs. Oh, I forgot to delete the little cap here. There we go. I should do the same thing here. Should I do the collar or the head first? I think I'll do the head. There we go. Do you use lattices for any part of this rig? Would you like to stick to the frame-by-frame animation and weight painting? So with this new method that I'm going for, I did used to use a lot of lattices and a lot of weight painting, depending on the context. But actually, for this new method, I've got this. I'm trying to rely more on just adding new grease pencil frames to deform the objects. So on one hand, that means that I try and not use weight painting, because that means that if I make a new drawing, that drawing won't be bound to the bone. So if I instead parent the object directly to the bone, or if there's an object with multiple layers that need to be attached to different bones, then I can attach the layer specifically to that specific bone. And that means that when I draw a new drawing, it will automatically be attached to the correct bone. And then also, rather than lattices, if I want to deform something, I found that there's a built-in add-on called just the grease pencil add-on. And if you click on it, you can go box deform, and it creates like this temporary lattice that allows you to stretch and warp your tool. And if you press Control right arrow, it adds subdivisions so that you can add more detail. If you do Control up arrow, it adds vertical subdivisions, and then you can reduce the subdivisions by using the left and down arrow. And then you just press Enter to confirm it, and it creates a new drawing with the thing. And I'm just going to undo all that. All right. Do you ever talk to people like Nick Albarelli regarding rigging techniques? I have talked to Nick. That's Tiny Nick, yes? He made a Napoleon Bonaparte. Yeah, I have talked to him on Twitter, particularly because in my last year of studying at university, I wrote a paper on the benefits of open source software in animation, and I interviewed him because he uses Blender, right? Yeah, and also I believe he used to work at SPA Animation, who made Klaus, and they've recently also taken up Grease Pencil, which is cool. What add-on was that? That was the Grease Pencil add-on, I think. Oh, it's called Grease Pencil Tools. It's already installed in Blender. You just have to go enable it. So if you go Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and then you just search Grease Pencil. Yeah, Grease Pencil Tools. You just check the checkbox, and it'll give you all of those tools. And there's some really cool stuff in there. So for example, I can if you press Control Alt and then use the middle mouse thing, you can spin your camera, which is pretty cool. And I forgot to hang on if I. Oh yeah, so if you're in your camera, you can say save rotation, and then when you rotate, you can go reset rotation, and it'll reset it, which is helpful. And you can mirror your camera, which is super helpful for drawing. That's awesome. Straight stroke. Well, oh right, that's cool. Yes, and if you have a stroke, you can say straighten it, and then down here you can figure out how much you want to straighten it. You know, which is cool. Oh, I don't know how much of that was visible actually. That's odd. Why is this not showing my entire... Oh no, sorry about that. It's this add-on up here called Grease Pencil Tools. I hope that's helpful. Oh no. I gotta select this directly. Yeah, there we go. Alright, there we go. Yeah, sorry, the add-on was hidden behind my camera. Oh wait. Oh, that shouldn't be part of this drawing. Oh, it was in the get extensions. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Oh, actually, yeah, no, I remember. I think I noticed that just in Blender 4.3, there was now like a section where it could like access add-ons that weren't installed, that it could just download from the internet if you asked it to, rather than like, but it was all still like in the Blender interface, which is super helpful. And that's great, because if you're a Blender user who doesn't use a lot of Grease Pencil, you don't really want that, you know, increasing the file size of your Blender installation. But if you do want it, if you do use Grease Pencil, it's super nice to be able to easily access it like that. Oh. Yeah, and then I just need the rest of the face. Alright. For blocking layers, YT. Yes, I just found out about this this hotkey. That's so helpful. I didn't know about the T though. That's really cool. So you can kind of isolate what layer you're working on. Oh, so that actually T is like auto-locking unused layers. Okay, that's awesome. I'm definitely going to use that. That's really cool. Going to use the skin shade tool there. Maybe it should be the regular skin. And then just the grey. Alright, there we go. YH, you say? Let's have a look. Would that like hide the other layers? Yeah. That's interesting. YH. Oh, it seems to cause an issue. Whoa. That's not good. Let me just... That's odd. How do you make the SmartBone add-on? Some tutorials on how to make add-ons using Python and then a little bit of Chat GPT. But yeah, and it's all open source, so you can read through it if you're looking to make an add-on of your own. Yeah, it's good. For me in 4.3 this does not work, so I'm back to 4.2. Is that the YH keybind? Yeah, it seemed to have some problems for me as well. Do you know coding a little bit or good? Yeah, I know a little bit of programming. My dad taught me some, and then I learned a little bit in high school, and then I learned a little bit from YouTube tutorials. I'm not particularly good at it, but you don't need to be. Oh no. Okay. Actually, that's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna have to delete that, and then I'm just gonna draw the. Oh, unless actually no, I'm just gonna shift it behind. It'll be fine. Yeah, that's better. Alright, we're almost there. Oh, you make games? Was that Godot? Does that use C++? I make amateur games. I make very bad, incomplete games. Yes, using Godot. I think it uses C++, but I think mainly it uses its own language called GDScript. Oh yeah, it might be C#, but you know, I think mainly it's GDScript. Oh, yeah, I messed up. I thought it wasn't filling in, but it was just the layer wasn't visible. I'm gonna select, delete that. Yeah, there we go. Alright, almost there. I feel like I'm so close. Is there something you would like to be added to Grease Pencil in the future? That's a hard question. I feel like I don't know exactly what I want, but I know I want that some more focus to be put on developing features for rigging specifically for 2D characters. But I can't really put a finger on exactly what I would like, you know? Yeah. Oh, actually, I take that back. I know exactly what I want. In Toon Boom, there's every drawing object has like this library of drawings, and every keyframe is just saying, "Go to this drawing," right? And so that means it's really easy to add new drawings to the timeline. You just go to add a new drawing. It creates a new drawing in the timeline, and it creates a new keyframe in the timeline that's pointing to an empty drawing in the library of drawings. But it also means if you want to go back to another drawing that you've used previously, you just have to select it in the library, and it adds a keyframe. Whereas in Grease Pencil, every keyframe is its own drawing, which means, yes, I can like duplicate a keyframe and move it to where I want it, but then if I change one of them, it only changes one of them, you know? So I'd like some sort of separation between the Grease Pencil object, the drawings that it contains, and the keyframes pointing to those drawings. That would be awesome. I don't know if that made any sense, but hopefully it did. That's a good question, Kirby. What is my favorite cartoon show? Uh, if we're including movies, then probably Treasure Planet, um, or A Long Way North. But then if you're meaning TV shows specifically, oh, I really like Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's a classic. Yeah. Or Hilda. Hilda's a good one. I know there's so many good shows out there. I can't narrow it down. Yeah, exactly, Zara. Hilda. This is the first view that the second ear is actually visible. orient it to this spine. Right. Other open source software for 2D like OpenToons and Tamaha 2D have something similar where you can drag a frame you drew before back into the timeline and change it with options for changes to effect. Yeah, I think OpenToons is very similar in that regard to Toon Boom, because I think they're both based on the same workflow as like traditional animation on pencil and paper, and so with when back in the day when you'd use pencil and paper, you wouldn't want to waste time redrawing drawings. So if there was ever a reused drawing, you'd just say, "Oh, go back and use that drawing," and you'd take a photo of it on the timeline. So yeah, and then they carry that over when creating Toon Boom and OpenToons. So yeah, I would love to see that in Blender. Pringle frame, wait, Prignal frame or not? I don't think I've heard of Prignal frame. Mars Express was really good. I don't think I've seen that either. Only thing is OpenToons is made for frame-by-frame animation. Yeah, it is. There are some rigging tools. I've seen some tutorials on how to do rigging in Toon Boom, and it looks pretty cool. I think it leaves a bit to be desired, perhaps, but I mean, it's still a great tool, and you can use it to create some amazing stuff. So I don't wanna bash on it too bad. I want to learn grease pencil so bad, but I can't draw for the life of me. That's okay. You don't need to be able to draw. Doesn't need to look good. Just need to get started, right? Practice makes perfect, and all that. Exactly. You have to be bad at it before being good. Hello again. I've tried OpenToons, but I feel like Tamaha 2D is better than OpenToons since there are no glitches. No software has no glitches. Every software has bugs. But yeah, I think Tahoma 2D is actually based on OpenToons. So I think, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense that it's more developed, because I think what happened was because it's open source, people weren't happy with how OpenToons was being developed, so they made their own branch and developed it from there. So that makes a lot of sense. I haven't used it very much, but I should look into it more. I think maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Tahoma 2D actually has less rigging features than OpenToons, but maybe I've just missed them. Should this ear use the regular skin tone or the shaded skin tone? I think the shaded skin tone. Oh, we're so close. Just need to do the neck and collar. What is up with that? Oh, that's not good. I think that needs to be moved below the head. Yeah. Right, and clear that out. Right. Let me just rotate it. No, that's not gonna work. Actually, and I think I'm just gonna do that on the regular color shape. Why isn't that working? I'm on ink, I'm on the right layer. Why isn't it working? Oh, it's because I'm not on the right object, of course. Alright, there we go. I've tried over yeah. How hard is it to animate textures in Grease Pencil? I think compared to some software like Moho, Blender does not that great a job with textures. You can add them. So for example, I decided not to do this with this character just for stylistic reasons. But if I just show all the objects, and I go to this ink material, and then rather than solid line, I choose texture, and then I choose this brush texture, and then I go into rendered view. You can see every line has this texture to it. If I render, maybe perhaps it'll look better. It's kind of hard to tell because it's so low res, but you can add some textured line to it. Yeah, I haven't actually done a lot of work with textures in Blender, so I can't really say for sure, but I think it's alright. I've also tried Blender Grease Pencil, but I really face difficulty in using its fill tool because the color always gets out of the outline. So actually there's a really cool cool feature here where, let's say you've got a circle like this and it doesn't quite meet up, right? No problem, because even though, yes, you can't seem to fill it in, if you go up to this advanced panel and then under size you increase this by just a little bit, and then you can click and then use your scroll wheel, and you see there's like the little blue lines that shows how it's extending and how it's going to fill it in, and then suddenly you can fill it, and that's really helpful when you've kind of got more sketchy lines that don't quite connect all the time. Have you ever fill tool's been broken for me since 4.3. I haven't noticed a big change in the fill tool. I think the fill tool isn't the best fill tool out there, but I haven't noticed a big change in 4.3, so I wonder what that's about. Have you ever tried drawing over 3D models, like what they do to make backgrounds for the TV show Archer? No, I haven't done a lot of that. I prefer to work with just kind of more 2D stuff, but I know Grease Pencil's really good at that kind of stuff. And I know there's lots of YouTube videos out there where people do that exactly. All right, just the mustache left. Here we go. Let's do it. I'm gonna just duplicate this one over here. Nice. And I'm gonna flip it on its x-axis and maybe shear along the y-axis, so it's a bit more like that, and then sculpt it into place. And then also the eye needs a duplicate active keyframe, and then I delete that. There we go. Alright, we did it! Look at that, we've added 2 views to the turnaround today. I reckon we're doing well. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Just got a few more views to go. Alright. I think yeah, it's 9:15 in the morning now. I'm probably gonna have to get started with the rest of my day. It was really nice hanging out with you all and answering some of your questions. Yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna start streaming more often from now on. Thank you all for watching, and I reckon I'm gonna head out. So I'm just gonna take this and stop recording. And yeah. Alright. Bye.